Hi, hello, good evening, welcome to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here. Today's video, I guess you want to know what it is, don't you? Daily English. Real daily English used by me. So, when you have conversations every day, you know yourself that you're not just saying, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm hungry. There's a lot more to it than that, isn't there? Everyday English and conversation is a combination of reactions. So if someone tells you something positive or negative, you need to react to that. Discussing the news. What's going on in the news? You need to be able to discuss that. Recommending things to people, getting excited about something you've done, and being enthusiastic about it, and of course making plans with people, colleagues, friends, your family, so that you can fill your life with interesting events and keep up with all your loved ones. The aim of this video is to help you communicate more naturally, understand natives more easily, and just use the most modern version of English that people use today. This is informal daily English used in everyday life. I hope you enjoy it. Number 1. Starting a conversation with an old friend. Hello, how are things? How are things? This is a very typical thing to say. Very informal, very friendly. It just means, how have you been? What have you been up to? How's everything going in your life? I had a phone call with my friend Sarah, who moved away sadly to Devon, which is miles away from where I live. And yeah, I got on the phone to her last night and I just said, how are things? 'Cause I wanted to know all about her life and what she's been doing. I know she started a new job, she's even taken up fishing. You see that? It was just a bumblebee. Oh God, when you live in the countryside, there's always an interruption. Do you remember the video I made with the crazy barking dog? Well, now it's a bumblebee, and she's buzzing everywhere. Fingers crossed it goes away. So use how are things to sound really friendly, informal, and nice. Number 2, expressing positivity. So, I'm the kind of person who is a glass half full type of person. Now, if you don't know what that means, it means you're very positive. You believe that the glass is half full, not half empty. Optimistic. There we go, that's the word I was thinking of, optimistic. If you are a glass half full person, you are optimistic. And that's me. I tend to operate with the attitude of, every cloud has a silver lining. One of my favorite idioms, which means every negative situation has a positive. You just have to be a bit patient and try to find it sometime. But you can always find one. Usually, not always. So even in a bad situation, I'm usually the one that's like, guys, don't worry, it could be worse, which is probably quite annoying to some people, but hey, that's just who I am. Sorry about that. So, it could be worse is a great thing to say that kind of just encourages everyone to remember that it's not that bad. You know, could be worse. We could be in a much worse situation than we are in. When it's tipping it down, which means really, really raining, I say, well, at least the ducks are enjoying it. Though I use at least here. At least comes at the start of the sentence, so you want to say at least, which means at minimum, you know there's a positive here. Let's say it. At least. I'll give you another example. The other night we were editing the video, and suddenly, the video was just gone. The computer was just like, no more video, just vanished and disappeared. And what did I say? Well, at least we have the other videos. Which wasn't actually that helpful in that moment, because my boyfriend was like, no, but we need this video, this is the one that's coming out on Friday. So yeah, not always helpful, but I still like being positive. It helps me deal with life, and I very much recommend it. And of course we also say when something bad happens and you want to be positive, you can say, oh well, it's fine. It's very native. Number 3, expressing enthusiasm. So you know when you do something great or you try something amazing and you just want to spread the love or spread the word about whatever you've done. So maybe you're making a suggestion about something or a recommendation of a restaurant, a cafe, a film, a song. What we do is we say best something ever. Best something ever. For example, I've recently discovered that the local pub that I can walk to does coffee in the day. I thought it was just an evening bar. But no. It does coffee. And on top of that, the coffee is really good because I love coffee. I'm a bit of a coffee person, so I said to my boyfriend, the White Hart, that's the name of the pub, does the best coffee ever. Best coffee ever. Also, If you want to try a cream tea, which is a scone, cream, and jam in some tea, go to Cornwall in the UK. They have the best cream teas ever. And for a pronunciation tip on this one, we stress ever, just to give it that drama and sparkle. Number 4. A shocked reaction. So someone tells you something that makes you feel shocked. You are not expecting this, and you want to really make sure that that comes across when you react. So what do we say? What on earth? I can't believe that. That is unbelievable. By the way, this is, you're shocked because it's probably quite bad news. Usually, shock is from a negative thing. You can be shocked at some really great news, but this is more for when someone tells you like, oh, this has happened, and you're like, oh no. So my friend is trying to buy a house and sell her house, and everything was going really smoothly. Then the other day, the buyer just pulled out of nowhere. So she has to start from scratch, which means start from the beginning. And of course, I did all of the reactions that I just mentioned. But true to form, at the end, I tried to see the positive. And I said, it is what it is. And that is a nice thing to say. Kind of means, well, there's nothing we can do. The situation is what the situation is. I waited for her to calm down first before I said that. Number 5. Reacting positively. So this is when someone's told you something really great and you want to show that you are amazed and happy and just over the moon about what they've said. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. That is the more polite version of oh my God. My mom always used to say to me, no, Catherine, don't say oh my God. Say oh my gosh. Feels just as good to say, but it's a little bit softer and more polite. Or you can say, wow. Of course, you probably know that one. Wow. Seriously? Are you being serious? Really? And of course, depending on how positive the news is, like something really crazy, you might want to say, I'm speechless. Means, as you can probably work out, you have no words in that moment. Number 6, discussing the news. So the word apparently here is very, very used here in the UK. I use it many, many times a day, and it really just means people say, people have said, or it was reported that, so apparently it's going to rain on Friday. That's going to really introduce that conversation quite well. And it just means I've heard this. You can also say, I've heard that, and that will just start the conversation in a really natural way. Number 7, making plan. Now here we tend to use a combination of shall we or do you fancy. So, for example, the other day, I always say the other day, can never remember when, maybe 3 days ago, I wanted to get a few dates in the diary with my very good friend Natalie. I think I've told you about her before. She's had a baby recently. And I just said, do you fancy going for a walk? It's really nice weather at the moment and it's the summers. So do you fancy going for a walk? I'll come to you. I don't mind driving to you because I know you've got your baby. So that was how I made that plan. And she said, yeah, that sounds great. Shall we go to the forest near where I live? So she's made a suggestion using shall we. So that's very, very common in English. Shall we do this? Shall we do that? It's a really nice way to just make plans. Now, for an extra bonus material for you all, I'm going to tell you what I said this morning, and that was, I was texting my friend Rosie, and she said to me, we need to find a dog-friendly pub, because she has a dog, and this dog is her pride and joy. It's very important to her. Comes with her everywhere. Dog-friendly pub is what we said, because there are lots of pubs now in the UK that are perfectly fine with you having your dog there, because so many people now have dogs and they don't want to leave them home. So that's what we said to each other. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. A bit different to normal, but as I said before, I've got a few wild ideas. Now, you can have conversations in a natural way, or at least start to. I know there's a lot more to learn, but I think this is the start of a series from me. I'm going to make more videos like this. I've got a lot to tell you, so if you think that's a good idea, tell me in the comments. Have a great one, and I'll see you next week. Bye.